Nobody cares, At the end of the day, nobody cares what we're going through, how your body feels. Nobody cares. We gotta do our job. Life is tough sometimes, and it's not fair, and it doesn't care sometimes. But you're gonna hold true to what you believe, and you're gonna hold true to who you are, and you're gonna be that person, whether it's easy or it's not. Is it fair? No, because I want to have emotions about things. I want to think about things as a human being. Nobody cares.
What? You hit a woman?
This Superman is nothing of the kind. I've discovered his weakness.
Yes.
He cares. He actually cares for these Earth people.
Like pets?
I suppose so.
Candy?
You already know if I'm going to take it?
Wouldn't be much of an oracle if I didn't.
But if you already know, how can I make a choice?
Because you didn't come here to make the choice. You've already made it. You're here to try to understand why you made it.
Welcome, my friends. My name is Antione Phoenix, and this is my RP experience. Peace and love to all my brothers and sisters out there. Thank you for hitting the like button, subscribing, sharing, turn on all notifications, and sharing. I think this is a very important one that some people should see because a lot of people hear the exact opposite, that no one cares. And I'm here to say there are people that care. Now, when I was scouring through videos on this particular topic right now, it's not that the people are wrong. Most people that don't know you will not care. But there are people that will care. I can see that online when usually women right here. Now, I have to pit that is a little bit of a imbalance right here, but I'll explain. When a woman puts up a sad post of things that she is going through, random people that's not even her family that will say, hey, everything's going to be okay. You go, queen. There will be a support system right there. Now, that's the one thing that women, I guess, will always have over men, that they usually have a support system. In a way, the way that they are built, I think most of them need a support system or they will crumble into dust. Not every woman. There are some women that are loners, but I do think most women are more social creatures, so therefore they benefit off of that particular thing right there. Men, on the other hand, that's beat into us that nobody cares about our feelings or what's going on in our life. But I don't believe in saying absolutes unless if you're talking about gravity. If somebody is going to drop to the ground, 99% of the time, unless if there's somebody out there that can float. Okay. And I always believe that anything is possible, but in most cases, most people will fall to the ground. Now, I'm getting to it. Now, what I mean here is that while women usually does have a support system, most men do not. Now, I understand why, because as men, we usually do not have the time to wallow in self pity because real bad things can happen because a lot of people will not care. Okay. Most men, unless they're real close friends with you, will not care. And unless if the women are just being supportive, even though that can be very strong, but when you're going through something, because I've had that with women in the past. Of course, though, they were foreign women from Argentina, but there has been women that when I was really going through something and I was holding it in, they came and like comfort me or talked. I did not seek that out. They just saw that I needed that and they was there. So that right there just proves once again that there are some people that care. Even for men, there are some random people that will care. Now I do think it's higher for women, which I understand they might have kids, they are more vulnerable to stuff. And for men, is more as get over it and move on. To a degree with certain things. When it comes to paying bills or working jobs, yes, a man doesn't have too much time to be feeling sorry for oneself because otherwise he could end up homeless or in a real precarious position. And I will say, I've been in certain bad situations like that. Now, fortunately, I have had some people that did support me, but I did not stay there. Now, sometimes people, well, mostly men, if they get into that situation, sometime if they get overcome with grief, and that's when sometimes I guess you do need that tough love, nobody cares, suck it up or something. If you don't have that and you don't have a support system, you could end up staying in a real bad situation, being on the streets. Whereas I do see that in real time. So, really, this video is about, while a lot of people may not care about what you are going through, whether you are man or woman. This is going for both genders right here because even for women, is kind of pushed out that nobody cares. But once again, I believe women still know they have a support system. I just want men to know that not that those people are wrong saying that you have to get over it and move on and tough through it. They are correct with that. But I do think saying that no one cares and no one will stand by you or be there for you is the wrong thing to send out. And this is why a lot of men do delete themselves or check out or just give up because sometimes they have no reason to keep fighting because most of the time we are fighting for our family or a woman or something. But that's why I think a lot of times when men go through divorce is more of a kill shot to them. Women may cry in the corner or something, but they always have girls saying, hey, let's go girls night out or something. And unless that woman really love you, and that's why in a way I do think a lot of women, not all women, but there's a lot of women that do not love the men that they are with. They are just with them. And once they stop getting certain things out of them or something, those feelings totally fade because you can't tell me you can love somebody to death one day and then don't love them the next day. Now, barring certain things that they may do, such as deleting somebody or hurting a child, there are certain things that I will say. But most of the time, when somebody will say, well, somebody just needs to do one thing and then I lose all feelings for them. If I was to look back at some of the things that they was doing before that relationship ended or before that friendship ended, their feelings had been left. Because I remember somebody telling me that. But the way that you was acting up to the point tells me that you did not care at that point. And then once again, as I will say again, I think a lot of women say that they love somebody, but they don't. But this is not what this video is about. This video is about that there are people that care. So I have a couple clips, and I just want to flesh out exactly what I was aiming for with this video. I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything. I'm just saying to the stream that that's a false thing to send to people or to men in general, that no one cares about them. That's one of the reasons why I do the videos that I do now, because I care about what men are going through now. And of course, I had to go through it myself, but let's begin.
Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck how you feel, what you're going through, what went wrong, the excuses you're gonna make. Who cares? Okay, guess what? You went through all that shit? Don't do it anymore. I don't give a fuck. Nobody cares what goes on in your life. As harsh as that sounds, that is the reality of the life that we live. Whether it's your family members, your partner, your friends, not many people give a fuck about you. When you put your head on that pillow at night, it's you and your mind and your thoughts. And that's all you got.
Okay. That video right there. And of course, there was a slew of other videos that say a similar same thing. And when I look through the comment section, most of the men that will definitely agree that particular thing. And probably some women will chime in too. Now, why do a lot of men think this way? Not that I heard women say this too, but I usually hear this from black women, because I know I heard this when I was growing up. Black women talking to either their son or their nephew or their niece. Usually they're talking to a man, but sometimes they are talking to girls as well. But I have a clip that I'm going to share right now where I do not always agree with this woman.
When you get abused as a child, you develop a core belief, and what that core belief will be is no one loves you, no one cares about you, you're unworthy, and you deserve this. Because this is what a child's going to learn. They're not going to learn, I hate my dad's horrible, my mum's a bitch. They're not going to learn that, because we are programmed to love our parents. Whether we like it or not, it's in us, because if we don't love them, we have no one to save us, we die. So we're programmed to love them. When they start abusing us, we don't stop and think, dad's on a substance, mum is just really detached. We think, I'm unlovable, I'm disagreeable, I'm the problem. So we develop this deep down inside of us, and then we go through life looking for people to validate that belief.
Wow.
So we look for somebody who reminds us that we're unlovable, we deserve pain. When we meet somebody who doesn't remind us of that, that's weird, that's uncomfortable. You almost punish them for trying to love you.
She's absolutely right there. Absolutely right. We learn a lot from our parents or the people that are raising us, and especially our peer group, the people that you are around. That's another reason why when especially now, I used to get past for that, but when I'm dating a woman, her peer group, the people that she's constantly around, I have to judge her on that, because that's going to affect me. And yeah, she could do the same thing looking at me, but the only thing is, as long as she get married and she has a kid, if things don't work out, she still gets walk away money. Sorry, that's just how it is. But me as a man, the longer I'm with her, the more in depth or more I am invested into the particular thing. So the sooner I find this out that this is going to be an issue, I need to get out of there. That is why I can't really give that a pass, because that's going to come back to haunt me. Once again, this video is not about that. But what she was saying about how a person's core belief can be influenced by their parents. And a lot of times I know fathers will bang that into their sons' heads. Now, I'm not saying that's a wrong thing, because as a man, you have to go out into the world with work and stuff, basically like you are going to war. And that's probably the safest way to look at it, that nobody has your back. I have to have my own back. But it's one big flaw with that. And and I wish I said this earlier in the video, but I don't feel like doing that recording over. But I'm going to say why I think you should care about other people to an extent. Do not be caring about people and being used or being manipulated, that type of stuff right there. Use your brain. This is why I say, for a lot of people, think for yourself. You can follow what someone is saying, but at the same time, does it fit your situation? Does it fit the person that you are going to be stretching for? If that's going to either be worth it to a certain degree. If not, then don't do it. There's a big reason why I think you should care. And while I could say platitudes and try to convince you, I have the perfect video to show why you should care about other people, because in a way it will come back to affect you.
You there, second desk, blue jacket. What is your name?
My name is Alexis.
Alexis, please leave my lecture room. I don't want to see you at one of my lectures ever again.
I don't understand.
I am not going to ask a second time. Thank you. Why are there laws? What are laws for? Anyone?
Social order?
To protect the person's personal rights. So that you can rely on the government?
Justice? Thank you. Tell me, was I unfair to your classmate just now? Indeed I was. So, why didn't any of you protest? Why didn't any of you try and stop me? Why didn't you want to prevent this injustice? You see, what you have just learnt, you wouldn't have understood in 1,000 hours of lectures unless you lived it. You didn't say anything because you weren't affected yourself. And this attitude speaks against you and against life. You think it doesn't concern you, so it's none of your business. Well, I'm here to say, if you don't help bring about justice, then one day you too may experience injustice, and there will be nobody there to stand before you. Truth and justice lives through us all, and we must fight for it. Because in life and work, I mean, we often live next to each other, but not with each other. We console ourselves that the problems of others are nothing to do with us, none of our business. And we go home glad at night that we're spared, but it's about standing up for each other. Every day an injustice happens in business, sport, or on the tram. Relying on someone else to take care of it is not good enough. It is our duty to be there for others, to speak up for others when they cannot. I am here to teach you the power of your voice. I want you to learn critical thinking to empower you to stand up for what is right, even if it means going against what everyone else is doing. Let's begin.
That right there, that is a powerful video. And I see that lots of times in my life when either somebody's being bullied, someone's being picked on, somebody's going through something. Yes, everybody is in charge of their own life. And I'm not saying for you to, when you are already going through a bunch of stuff, to come over and speak up for somebody else or help someone, give them a push to be able to take some steps forward. If your hands are tied, you know when your hands are tied. You know when you don't have enough to be able to help somebody else. But a lot of times, people, pretty much like in that classroom, they could have said something. I'm pretty sure if that guy did that class through 100 or 1,000 classrooms, I'm pretty sure there would be at least one or two people out of that 1,000 that would say like, hey, that's not right. Now, of course, maybe they would do that because that's their friend or they know the person. And that's why sometimes it does help to know people, to have a tribe or have people that you can kind of turn to. Not lean on, but if something was going down that you know you could count on them. Now, to put this to the test, that's why sometimes people join gangs. People join syndicates. People join a fraternity. I would say maybe the police as well, but that's also a job. But that's why a lot of times I think people will join those type of things because they want to not feel alone. Yes, because deep down, nobody wants to feel alone. Now, I do think men can deal with being alone better than women just because we can go live in the woods or go somewhere and live by ourselves. As long as we have the bare essentials and we have peace and we have the things that we really need and something that we love doing, whether I guess is hunting or is video games or something that we love to do, we are good. I don't think usually women are built like that, but that's not to put them down on that, but just that particular thing. Now, the only thing I will say, most people that do seem to join groups, the groups always appear to be bad most of the time. Whether it's the Illuminati or any of those mysterious groups that people are joining, and there's always some, and this is why I never want to join a fraternity because there's always some type of hazing, degradable thing that you have to do. Yeah, I would never join a group like that because I just have too much, I have too much self-respect with that particular thing. But there are lots of people that will do that particular thing. Now that's a little separate thing, but I'm just saying that people don't like to be alone. So when a lot of these people come online and say nobody cares, you're on your own, you have to just live your life, on the same note, I'll see people living or thriving in a group. Now, maybe they don't totally have their back in every situation in their life, but there are people that have formed groups and they do look out for the other people. So, before this get a little mixed up, this is why I believe you should stand up for what you believe in. Go your own separate path. Don't just jump off the cliff that everybody else is doing. I know a lot of people follow Andrew Tate. I do agree with some things that he said, except the thing of a woman has to just accept the man cheating. But he does best with that self-motivational stuff. But he also comes to the thing like nobody cares. Nobody cares what you are going through. Yeah, but I bet your brother cares about what you are going through because both of you have each other's back. I don't know about your parents and stuff, I'm pretty sure your boys care about what you are going through. So when a lot of times it's a similar thing like when women say strong, independent, I'm getting the bag on my own, and yet they are married and going home to a man. Okay, how much of that is actually accurate? You're telling other people to do something that you're not totally doing yourself. So when people say nobody cares and they have a big platform, a lot of times I'm looking at them and I'm like, okay, but that doesn't really apply to you. That applies to some people that's really only got themselves out there and they're trying to survive and make it through the next day. Those people probably can say that. But at the same time, sometimes even they need a hand, or they need to know that there are people that care about them, despite the fact everybody's saying that they don't care. Okay, so men out there is somebody that cares about you, whether it's your mom, your dad, your dog. Okay, somebody cares about you, so don't say nobody cares, because someone does. So that's it for now. I was about to keep going with something else, but I didn't want to get away from the message. So people care. I care. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing right now, because I care about the things that men go through. And I also care about the women. That's why I try to be balanced and as fair as possible from the man's perspective. But I'm not just here trying to make women feel bad, and I'm not trying to change women either. I'm just trying to open to the women. I'm trying to open you up to your behavior of the things that you do wrong, because not a lot of people are telling you. When people do tell you, they tell you the wrong way. Now it's up to you, now that you have that knowledge, to either change or to keep along your path. But you can't make that excuse that no one told you. And that's the same thing with men, where we are talking about marriage or other options that you have to date out or to travel or to concentrate on different things and not just a woman and trying to make her happy, especially when she's not into you like that. Now, with that knowledge right there, is no excuse to keep going along that path. Give me a like and subscribe, and have a good day.
I really feel for the men, like guys who have so much, they're working so hard, they're trying to prove themselves because society makes them. Because you have to make your way in society. You have to do so much to prove yourself these days. And to have this girl come here and just completely belittle you on the internet. These are good men out there. And they don't they don't deserve you don't even deserve a McDonald's from them. I'm sorry, but it's not about the dollar sign, it's about the intention. I would love, even if, who cares about the food? If a guy takes me to McDonald's and then buys me a meal, amazing. I love McDonald's. Like, what's wrong with that? It's the intention. It's the fact that he made a point and said, hey, I've got this. I want to...
I'm not